After the game this past Saturday, I have to be honest. We won the ball game, and what I said was true is that I'm excited tonight. Tomorrow I'll be mad. And coming in and watching the video, and I wasn't the happiest camper in the world. We had a lot of opportunities to do some things, and we didn't get it done. But we did just enough to help the team win the game, because the most important thing is it's about the team, offense, defense, and special teams. The offense came and did a great job. Special teams did a great job. We had a few plays we scored on defense, got an interception to set up another touchdown. And we sat down, we had 6 3-and-outs. A lot of times when you have 3-and-outs, that's a good thing. But we also had drives and big plays that killed you. And the thing that we have talked about since we have been here is don't give up the big play. And we gave up way too many. Big plays will get you beat. And we need to cut those things down, number one, by executing better. We have to tackle. When the ball's in the air, you have to have the mental toughness to go make a play like Dylan Haynes did. Dylan Haynes saw the ball in the air. He was man-to-man. He went and made a play and got in the end zone. We need more guys with that mindset. Diggs has that mindset. Duke has that mindset. Jordan Hicks, they have that mindset. That's where they are playing well for us this season.
Speaking of a guy like Dylan Haynes, how opportunistic is he?
Here's a guy who never thought he would have the opportunity to play. I'm talking about just special teams. And right now he's out there. He started several games for us, so he's gotten better every single ball game. Because the mindset is right now, I'm a starter. I'm not a backup. I'm not a special teams player. I'm a starter. And he goes out there. He has really good football awareness. His dad, we played together. And you can see he has football in him. There are guys who might be better athletes, bigger, faster, stronger, but they're not better football players. The kid's a football player. It's just that simple. He understands the game. He understands his strengths. He understands his weaknesses. That makes a good football player.
And some of the delayed option stuff that K-State does, is that all about responsibility and just being patient, I guess, on defense?
It's all of those things. I tell you what, this quarterback, and you're going to laugh at this, but he reminds me of Russell Wilson. Yeah. Patient, runs it when he has to run it. He knows where all his receivers are. Guy's a winner, competitor. And the things that he does is just no one's really defending it. You look at Oklahoma, he does a little pop pass off the flags, and that goes for 70 yards and a touchdown. And I thought Oklahoma, has pretty good personnel on defense. So it's hard to defend. You have to be very disciplined when you play against this offense because of what he does.
How do you defend that? Because he did that a couple times in the first half where he would fake the run, suck those guys in, and either look for guys. The Gronk play is what got all the highlights. But
he did that several times, you're right.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back with discipline, knowing your assignment, what your responsibilities are, the situation, and then when it pops, it can't go for 70 yards. It's got to be a 20-yard play so you can line up and play again. And that's the whole key to that is making them drive the football field. Make them go 80 yards in 15 plays instead of going 80 yards in 6 plays. If you do that, some good things can happen for you, and that's going to be key for us. Second down and medium, if they do a pop pass, it's hard to defend because it's not a good situation for us defensively, but we have to execute. And sometimes when the back goes to the line of scrimmage, you need to tackle a guy. That's what you need to do to keep him from going through the line of scrimmage.
What do you compare this offensive scheme to? Bill Snyder's?
Coach Snyder is an old wide receiver coach. When I watch his wide receivers play, they're very disciplined. It's a little bit like we are. It's a combination of West Coast, where you have to be disciplined with your route running, and spread. So you see a combination of both, which we are also. So this is probably the most disciplined team that we've faced so far this season. You talk about a disciplined team, and accountable players, dependable players, the things we're trying to bring here to the University of Texas. Coach Snyder has gotten that done at Kansas State. And we're trying to get to where he is. So I respect everything he's done, and he's done it for year after year after year.
How similar is it to Iowa State and what they were doing?
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different because, again, I'm going back to when you look at the passing game, I see more of West Coast concepts than you see against the other teams we face this year. I look at Iowa State as more spread-type routes. It's kind of get open routes. His receivers are very precise. They come out of breaks, they come back to the ball. You see combination routes, curl flats, high-low routes. And most of the people we faced this year, we haven't seen that. It's just one-on-one, get open, and my guy's better than your guy.
Manhattan is a place that Texas has just won once, all time, ever. But what makes it so difficult? What is it about, that venue, that facility? What do you know about it?
Coach Strong and I was just in there watching video, and I said, Coach, look at the stands. I mean, the fans are there. I mean, it is a college environment. It's a tough place to go and play. The fans make it very tough there. The next thing is, I think they lead this conference right now as far as the least penalized team. Also, they don't turn the ball over. They're very simple. They're very sound on offense and defense. He would never beat themselves. He don't worry about if I get a big play, fine. If not, we'll take our time. We're going to take time off the clock. We're not going to put our defense out there. They've always had great special teams now. You look at Darren Sproles returning punts and kickoffs. I mean, you look at Lockett right now returning punts and kickoffs. I mean, very, very good in special teams. So when you play that team, you can't make mistakes. If you do, they take full advantage of it because he's not going to make very many. And because of that, they're tough to beat, whether he's on the road or at home. And for us over the years, from my understanding, we might have more talent, but it's not about individual talent, it's about the team. And when I look at Bill Snyder's team, it's about one thing. It's 100% team concept, offense, defense, and special teams. And they've made it tough over everybody in this conference for the past several years.
Your front four, what did you think of the rush or the pressure Saturday night, and how much are you going to need that at K-State? Well,
the pass rush, wasn't what we needed to be. We need to get more pressure from our front four so we can play just straight out coverage and some zones, some man, and mix things up. We also got to continue to pressure. When we do pressure and we have people one-on-one, they need to win those battles. Right now, we're not necessarily winning those battles. When one guy can block us, it's difficult to defend things sometimes. And last week, that tight end, as I told you last week, I think the tight end is going to play in the National Football League. He was a bad matchup for my defensive backs. You have a 265-pound tight end that runs well with great ball skills on a 185-pound defensive back. On paper, that's a bad matchup, and it was a bad matchup. He made some plays. One time they shifted him out, and he's on McHale. He just pushes McHale's off by 5 yards, and it's a 10-yard gain. And people say, what do you do about that? Somebody give me an answer. I wish I knew. If I put a linebacker out there, it's a bad matchup because he's going to be a little bit faster than my linebacker. And the NFL looks for those type of players. And those are the type of players we're trying to find also at the University of Texas, guys who could be matchups for opposing defenses.
Vince, I know that Steve didn't start that game. Is he okay? Or
he's fine. He was nicked up in the Oklahoma game. He came in and played quite a bit this past weekend. He is ready to go.
What about Jason?
Jason, it's a day-to-day with him. I mean, he's running around doing some things. He's back at practice, and it's just day-to-day.
It looked like Ced Reed, his first step, just isn't quite what it's been, or what are you seeing from him? Last year they had that long arm rush. He's pushing guys back into the quarterback. It doesn't look like he's firing off, maybe. I don't know. What do you
he started off a little slow, but he's getting better and better, each week. He got, in that 2-minute drill, he got called for hands to the face, and what you're saying, that's what he was doing. And we just said, just turn it loose, let it go. Don't worry about the what ifs. Just go be the player you've shown in the past. And I think you're going to see those things in the next several ball games. Just relax, go have some fun. That's what your senior year is all about. It's going out there, flying around, having fun, let the chips fall where they may. That's what you see Malcolm Brown is doing right now, and Jordan Hicks and Quandre Diggs. They're just going out there having fun and playing ball. And I told Ced, don't worry about the what ifs, what people are saying. Be yourself and have some fun. Just relax.
Ced might be feeling some pressure, but about Big Malcolm, I mean, is he building toward a legitimate All-American status?
We had a chance to watch Auburn play, against K-State. My man looks like those guys. I think he's a special talent. He's one of the better 3 techniques that I've been around. You know, I've been in Michigan, I've been in Florida, coached in the NFL. I think the kid's an NFL talent. I think his future is ahead of him. Yeah, I'll go back and look at last year's video. He was a good player. This year he's a better football player. The next year he's going to be even better. So his future's ahead of him. I mean, he's growing by leaps and bounds. He loves the game of football. He's motivated. He's married, has a child. He's settled. These are the type of guys you like being around. I mean, he was up here a little while ago. He comes in and jokes with the coaches. I mean, he just takes a seat like he's a coach. I said, man, get your big butt up out of here. I mean, he's trying to work. I mean, he has fun. And to me, that's what football is all about. He understands what football can do for him, but he knows he has to work at it. He studies the game. He prepares like an NFL player. And we need more players to be like him. You know, Quandre Diggs has that mindset. Jordan Hicks, you know, he's that way. They're coaches on the football field. They take on a leadership role. So I'm excited to see what he has to do this week, because I told him he has a challenge now. You know, that center they have, I think he's a real deal. I think he's another NFL-type player.
So when you say you're in a bad mood the night after the celebration, the day after,
Oh, yeah.
how does that get expressed to your guys?
I can't really use those terms, but they really got the message, you know, really fast. Because I knew that, you know, we didn't play well. We played well enough to win, and that's the most important thing. Is the most important stat is that W. You know, and as I said before last week, is that it's great to say, well, people say, well, you're doing well on defense. We didn't win. At the end of the day, it's about winning. A year from now, 2 years from now, people are not going to say, well, what were your defensive stats? They're going to say, how many games did you win? How many games did you lose? And that's always leave things on a good note with our players. But before that now, you know, I got into them pretty good. These are pluses and a whole lot of minuses. This is why we did the minuses. We didn't play smart. We didn't play hard. We didn't tackle well. We didn't get off of blocks. The basic fundamentals of playing the game of football we did not do. We did it at times. You started the game off 14-0, did a great job, but then you're 14-0 and you set back. You set back and let another opponent get back in the game instead of putting the metal to the pedal and let's finish the game. And that's something we're not good enough to do at this time.
You mentioned you guys didn't play well enough, but you talk about the seniors, Quandre and Jordan and Malcolm on the offense. Seeing them get a win, even though people might poo-poo it because it was 3 points at home over Iowa State, can you see a difference, you know, in those guys that, hey, the losing streak's over and it's a win and we came back? Any difference in their eyes, their mentality?
Anytime you win, it brings a certain confidence to guys. Because what we got in that game, we found a lot of ways we could have lost that game, but we found a way to win that game. And when you can find a way to win, it brings a certain confidence to all the guys in the room. You know, right now, you look at Swoops, it's like, yeah, it was the quarterback. You look at Ship making those great plays, we have a receiver. You look at John Big Time Harris, I mean, the plays that he's making right now, it's outstanding. The offensive line, you know, Coach Wiggs has done a tremendous job. Man, they playing ball right now. We have a team that's coming together, and we talk about one game at a time. That's what we have to do. That game's over with. We've learned some things from it. We have to play better in every aspect of our game, offense, defense, and special teams, because we're going into a hostile environment. That's what we have to do. It's us. It's like circle of wagons. When you go on the road, you circle of wagons. It's just us. You're in enemy territories. Let's get ready to go play football, and we've got to count on each other. We have to trust each other. That's the things we talked about since day one. It's about trust. It's about all of us in it together, trusting each other. And if we do that, we'll be okay.
When the offense is scoring points and they seem to have turned the page, does your job as a play caller on defense change at all? Are you able to be more aggressive or more conservative? Or how does that go?
Calling defenses, it helps out when you're scoring points, but we're going to be who we are. At the end of the day, we're going to bring a guy as much as we can. We want to pressure guys because we can disrupt a quarterback with a little pressure. Maybe he might throw that bad ball. He might throw an interception to Dylan Haynes. He could return it 70 yards for a touchdown. So part of what we have to do is continue to be disruptive. The more aggressive our offense is, the more points they can score, we might become even more aggressive because now we feel like if something bad happens, they can go out and make a play for us. So it helps us out to be more aggressive.
How would you describe your safety position, and what ultimately would you want that position to look like?
I would like to get in a situation here is that if you throw the ball between the hashes, that receiver knows one thing. He might not get up. It's just that simple. You know, I was at Louisville, I had Calvin Pryor. There were a lot of drop balls because of what Calvin Pryor and Hakeem Smith did. I was at Florida. We had Major Wright. We played Oklahoma, Orange Bowl that year, and they threw that ball down the sideline. Now he'd have been kicked out of a game. That set the tempo for the game. I was at the University of Michigan. I had a 215-pound safety back in 1996. He threw the ball in the middle of the field, you got hurt. Chicago Bears, Mike Brown, threw the ball down the middle of the field, they were drop balls. They set the tempo of what you can do. And Jason Hall brings that to the table. He's a freshman, but you look at the opportunities he's had, when he comes to hit you now, you do not fall forward. So when we get to that point in time, that's when things would change for us defensively. I had a chance to play with Johnny Johnson. You got hurt. William Graham, you were injured. Jerry Gray, you were injured. Throwing the ball out in the middle of the field. And that's what we have to get back to. That's called Texas football. And we're looking for guys to fill out that role right now. And I think Jason Hall has the ability to do that. He's shown signs of that, but he's not there right now. And that's a challenge to the guys we have here right now, and we challenge them all the time. The game of football is a physical game. It's not a finesse football game. If you're a safety, if somebody throws a ball in the middle of the field, it's like somebody breaking into your house. What are you going to do? It's personal. And right now, and I get fired up about that, it is personal. You throw the ball in the middle of the field, now things supposed to happen. All bad for the offensive guys. And right now, it's not happening. And I let the guys know that every single day. That's what happened after the ball game. When I got fired up, they knew where I was coming from. It is personal.
Coach, you guys have, played well on offense at times, played well on special teams at times, and at defense at times. How good could this team be if you guys were clicking on all three phases of this game?
If we were clicking on all three phases, people would be really nervous out there right now because it could be a really good football team. And part of what you're seeing is a young football team. When you have a young football team, you have today this group is doing well and that group isn't. Because we have a lot of young guys on special teams and they play young. Young guys don't play smart at times. And again, I'm just going back to that. We need to play a lot smarter in every aspect of it. Special teams did a great job. They grew up a little bit last week. Offense, the offensive line. I mean, you look at how many guys started a year ago. And, again, Coach Wickline's doing a tremendous job with those guys. And defensively, we experienced up front, but, again, we do some things because of guys been injured or playing like an inexperienced football team. So it's getting experience on the job. And I think we all just come together and we play smart together. I think we have a chance to be, pretty decent.
Is your philosophy to not kick to guys like Lockett, or you tell your guys we're kicking it to them?
I wish we can go back to the old days, but you can't. Well, I can walk up to Coach Snyder and officials say, we can do this. Instead of kicking off, let's put the ball on 25-yard line, not worry about it. But you can't do that anymore, so you have to find a way to kick it to them, and hopefully we can kick it out of the end zone. Our kicker's done a tremendous job, and trying to punt the football. My man's just dangerous. I got to be honest. He can change the game in a single play. You could be in a fourth-quarter game close, all of a sudden you punt the ball to him, and all of a sudden you're behind. It's a scary situation to punt the guy to him, and you might have to punt the ball out of bounds. We have to do like maybe Baylor, go for it on fourth down, don't worry about it. And that way I want to punt the ball to him. Now we have a better chance.
Why is Snyder a good coach?
Fundamentalists. He teaches the fundamentals. His team is a very disciplined team. And when you watch his players play, you don't see a player trying to do exceptional things. They just go out there and do their job. And that's what the game is all about. You don't see a lot of, I got to be honest, 5-star guys on this football team. Think about it. So you have to break a 5-star guy down to get him right. He don't worry about what the media say or about the rivals say, well, your class is ranked 65th in the country. He really don't care. What he wants to say, I have football players. They're going to do exactly what I ask them to do, or they're not going to play. So you go into his programs, you're going to do exactly what he tells you to do, well, you be on the sideline. And that's the type of kids that he have, guys that are hungry, guys that have a chip on their shoulder, guys that want to do the right thing, guys that are going to class. And when you see his football team walk out there, you talk about the details of the game, that's what I see with Coach Snyder. I mean,
Charlie, BC, and Bill.
he's a lot alike. And again, just going back to, I talked about, Coach Stoops last week. Guess who Coach Stoops came up under? Coach Snyder. And he's built his program a lot like Coach Snyder. And those are things that Coach Strong wants to do. He wants to get the type of guys in the program that love the game of football, that's going to be disciplined, that's going to work hard, that's going to buy into the team aspect of the game and not worry about my stats. When you win, everyone gets the glory and everyone gets great stats. When you lose, one or two guys might get the glory, but your team is losing. It's about one thing. It's about winning and success. Everybody's successful. Everybody become all conference. Everybody becomes have an opportunity to go to the NFL when you win. When you lose, people come in there, oh, you have two players, you have nobody. You win, more people are going to come see you. It's the same thing in high school. Winning programs have a lot of college recruiters come around and watch their programs. Losing programs, they don't have any players, they lose them. The same thing in college. What's the difference? Absolutely not.
Speed, someone said to me that your recruiting profile is a program of speed and chip on the shoulder. Is that fair?
It's true. The guy who loves the game, though. I just don't want speed, but the chip on the shoulder, that guy loves the game. It's like, you see him out there, he's a gym rat. I had the opportunity, going back to Florida. Tim Tebow was a gym rat. Man, all he did, he walked, talked, breathed, and ate football. Joe Hayden, one of the corners I had, he was like that. Janoris Jenkins, like that. Coach Strong talks about Brandon Spikes. He was like that. I went back to Michigan in 2007. That was a 10-year reunion of our 97 team. And those guys said, Coach, you guys taught us everything we need to know. We go out there and change defense, so you didn't even know it. Charles Woodson said, I'm going after this interception, get me over the top. Andre Weller said, Coach, I'm going to break on this ball. You got me over the top. Football players. That's what football is all about. Robots can win games for you. If you have a guy to go out there and that individual does exactly what you ask him to do, what if that offense does something a little bit different? He don't know what to do. Football players understand the game. They can make adjustments. That's what it's all about. And those are the type of guys we're looking for. Jordan Hicks is that type of guy. Big Malcolm Brown, he's that type of guy. Quandre Diggs, he's that type of guy. And we were looking for guys that love the game of football, that want to learn, and now they're going to take it to the next level. And that's what you got to have in the program.
Time for one last one.
In terms of depth at linebacker, do you have anyone close to what Jordan Hicks could do?
My honest opinion, at this time, no. So what I'm doing is challenging all the guys behind them. You say you want to play, okay, come over here and study like Jordan Hicks. Spend the extra time in it. Be able to make the adjustments like he can. So I'm always going to challenge our players. If I'm talking about one guy, you used to say, Coach, why are you not talking about me? So I'm always going to put it back on those guys that are here right now. Okay, do what he does. Show it to us on the football field, and now I come to a press conference, I'm mentioning your name. Because if I was one of the other guys and you're not talking about me, I would be in my office. Hey, wait a minute, Coach. Why are you not talking about me? Because they'll tell you, I shoot them straight. They might not like what I tell them, but I shoot them straight. At least I'm honest from my own personal opinion. It's my opinion, so I say what I want to say when my doors are closed. Good, bad, or indifferent. And like my daddy say, I'm just like my daddy. I'm going to shoot them straight. Might not like what I say, but I'm going to tell you how it is.